This segment of Naperville Sports Weekly is brought to you by the Daily Herald.
I'm here with head coach Nate Bornancin of Naperville North Boys Volleyball. Thanks for joining me today, Coach.
Absolutely.
Now, the team just got named the 3 seed in the sectional that's going to be coming up here in just about a week. How did you feel about that seed when it came out? You know, I guess looking back to the beginning of the regular season, did that kind of meet expectations that you had for this year's squad?
Last year we were a 6 seed, so we're kind of falling into that same sort of spot we were last year as far as the regional that we're in, the types of teams. You know, when you're a top 8 team, even a top 10, if you look at Naperville Central, they're really hot right now. They're the 10 seed in our sectional. Any one of those teams can win that sectional. It's just the west, the west suburbs are so strong with boys volleyball. I don't know if there's any certain spot that you like to be, because you're going to have to battle to get out of your regional and into that sectional semi. But I feel like we earned that 3 seed when the seedings came out. We were 11-2 against the teams in our sectional. We played Wheaton South. We lost to them in the quarterfinals of the Downer South tournament. So we're familiar with them. We see them on Thursday this week. And they're the 2. So I feel like we're right there.
Now, you mentioned the team's got that last regular season game against Wheaton Warrenville South, and that's a matchup we could see kind of deep in the postseason if everything pans out. What are some things you're going to be looking for from the team in that last regular season game against a very tough opponent looking ahead to the postseason?
We've been talking a lot this year about building for the postseason. We play in a lot of tough tournaments. Obviously, being in the DBC, there's no real pushover match. Or cakewalk, we like to say. We've been sort of building, and this match is going to be really the start of the playoffs for us, because the Wheaton South, that's the type of team that you're going to see in the playoffs, and that's the type of team that you're going to have to prepare for. We talk about our energy and our execution and our effort. We've been talking a lot about the 3 E's this year. And that's something that's going to have to be there when we play them on Thursday. And that's really going to kind of jumpstart our postseason.
Looking back to last year, you guys mentioned you were the 6th seed and lost to eventual state champs in Glenbard West. But just looking at that year's team compared to this year, a lot of seniors that you guys lost last year, but looking at guys in particular, Phil Olszewski, Jack Rothman, a couple of the captains there.
Yeah.
How do guys like that kind of compare to this year, that big 3 group of seniors that you guys have with Casey Hiller, Philippe Russian, and Michael Jennings?
Well, it's always nice when you get your 3 best hitters back. Having those guys, Mike, Casey, and Philippe, our 3 captains. There's 3 different guys that you can go to put a ball away for you, and that's something that not a lot of teams have, but the good teams have it. And we know that those guys are confident. They want the ball. The guys on the court know they want the ball. If you look at a player like Mike's kind of been our go-to hitter the past 2 seasons, and he's taken more swings than anybody. This year, Casey and Philippe have really stepped it up, and you know what, the other guys too. You could look at a guy like Derek Amend, our junior middle, that's opposite Casey. Even guys like Sam Whitwer, Taylor Ayers, another senior who's stepped in on the outside and kind of filled in for some of the outsides that left last season. We're getting contributions from a lot of different players. It's not just giving the ball to Set and Mike every time. So I've been real impressed with the way our setter Kyle has been able to move the ball around and get everyone involved.
And you mentioned a lot of those players, and I've gotten to go to a couple games this year and personally see those ones, and everybody that you mentioned has made an impact at some point or another.
Yeah.
And for you as a coach, knowing that you've got that big trio coming back, and you guys can easily continue setting those guys up, but knowing that you've got some of those players in your back pocket almost that teams might not be kind of keying in on as much, and knowing that you can kind of dial some things up and get them set up. How does that feel for you as a coach, knowing that there are so many options on this year's team?
It gives us a lot of confidence, and I can see it in the guys. We started the year, we only had I think we had 6 guys come back but only 3 of our guys are, like you said, you use that term, big 3. Those are the guys that saw regular playing time last year. So it was kind of a feeling out process with 14 guys on varsity and only 3 really playing regularly in varsity contests. The beginning of the year we went through some growing pains, guys getting used to playing, and now I'm comfortable throwing any lineup out there. Last night we went all seniors, which was great, a great senior night. We started 7 seniors, including the libero, and then Charlie Cheatham came off the bench and played some back row for Phil Camelli, our right side. So it was great. I mean, it was so much fun to coach. These guys are just, they come to practice wanting to work hard, and they enjoy the game, and it makes it so enjoyable as coaches to be able to coach them and coach guys that want to be here and want to get better.
And you mentioned how fun it is for you as a coach, and I'm sure, every year is obviously so different with overhaul of seniors and new guys coming in and potential transfer students.
Yeah.
Just coming in and knowing that, for you as a coach, how does this year's team kind of stand up with some of the other teams that you've coached in the past?
I really don't think this team has met their potential yet. We're that next level, and we keep building towards it. We've been in some big matches, close game 3s against, top 5, top 10 teams in the state. And I consider, obviously, we're a 3 seed in the toughest sectional in the state. Other people believe that we're that kind of team too. We've been right there with the top teams. Looking at the tradition of Naperville North and everything that we have here, it's hard to place them as far as ranking the teams in the last 20, 25 years, but this is a team that can do some damage if we can put it all together. You're gonna have to get a little lucky coming through this sectional. At the same time, you're gonna have to play well. So I really think this team has not reached their peak yet. We're starting to peak at the right time.
Now, we've been talking about some of those teams, and got to look back to the 2011 state runners-up, and I understand that there's a little bit of a connection on this year's team to that year's squad as well.
Yeah, Mike Jennings, his brother Matt, was one of our starting middles on our 2011 state runner-up team, and Charlie Cheatham's brother Henry, who's a right side on that team. I don't know if they've been. I'm sure those guys have been getting in their brothers' ears a little bit, and now that we're getting really close to the postseason, and that's just, it's great to be able to coach. Now you're getting to know, as a coach, you're getting to know families, brothers, sisters. They've been around. I coach on the girls' side as well, so I get to work with some of their sisters as well, and these are great families. They care about their kids. They care about the program. It makes it so much easier to coach when you've got that buy-in from parents and from the entire family as a whole. So it's real special.
Now, you mentioned that you help out on the girls' side as well, and the girls were able to kind of exceed some expectations, surprise a few people, make a pretty nice run in the postseason. So knowing that that side was able to do that, and that the boys have some potential this year, I guess, what are some things that you're working on in these practices late in the season? Is it kind of just practice as usual, or kind of trying to ease some tensions?
We've shortened up practice just to make sure we're not totally killing our guys, their legs and things like that. We're focusing a lot on our defense and our block. We know that the teams that make it the furthest are the teams that are playing the best defense at the end of the year. They're blocking, and they're using their blocking system. And guys are flying around, moving well to the ball. If our defense is there with the type of hitters we have, I know if we're digging, then we're going to be able to transition and score. So the focus has really been on our defense.
Now, you mentioned the importance of defense, and that's something that definitely obviously in any sport defense kind of helps to lead the way. What are some specific things that you can work on late in the season that perhaps you guys haven't been doing throughout the year?
I think that we're going to face some setters that set a very fast tempo, and so just making sure our middles are making that read on that setter, and they're able to close the block. That way, our defenders behind the block are able to dig and they're not guessing where the hole is or trying to get outside the block. I think that's going to be a focus. I mean, it has been a focus for us the last couple practices, and it's going to continue to be a focus, is that specific positioning on the court and the way we defend hitters like Meyer on Wheaton South and some of these other big-time hitters from these programs we're going to hopefully see as we move through the state playoffs.
Well, Coach, I won't keep you any longer. I'll let you get back to practice here, and hopefully the team will be able to surprise some people and make a nice postseason run, but best of luck the rest of the way.
All right, thank you.
Yep, thank you.
Appreciate it.